Hank Green says, this is going to be very weird. Something about Blue Sky, I don't know. But this is Asmongold TV's version because I don't really like Hank Green that much. And I'd rather have somebody else to talk me through it because I don't like listening to him. So here we go. No, get off that screen. Why are you doing this? There we go.
Who's creating this non-human army? Wait, what? What the hell?
I just found something absolutely fascinating. This is going to be a big part of our lives, and I do not know how to handle it. So I was just on Blue Sky, and I tweeted about how I think that we've all sort of like headed over to Blue Sky thinking, oh, I've been tired of the way that Twitter is. I'm going to go to Blue Sky.
What? What? And what are you tired of on Twitter? That you're not in an echo chamber? And that Blue Sky is an echo chamber? You know how I know it's an echo chamber? I got banned from there almost immediately. I'm gonna move out of the way of Asmongold.
Thinking
He thought he gonna get away from the bots. Oh no.
No, he didn't think he was getting away from the bots. He thought he was getting away from the hate and traded the hate for bots.
it's just like basically a Twitter replacement.
Yeah.
But of course, it is much more than that. And I'll explain this more in a future video, I think. But basically, the idea is...
It's more of a Hotmail replacement than a Twitter replacement. Come on, give me a break.
Instead of having the platform and the protocol be the same thing, you split those things out. You say, okay, here is the platform, that's Blue Sky, and then there's a protocol called @proto, I think is what it's called. And that's like how you have Hotmail and Gmail and all of the and Yahoo Mail, all the other mails, and then underneath that there's a protocol that they all use and they're interoperable between the services. And Twitter functions like the protocol and the platform are the same thing. And Blue Sky functions like they are different things. And that's a big deal.
Does that matter?
And it changes how things are going to be. Like, you can buy Blue Sky the same way that Microsoft bought Hotmail, but nobody can buy email. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he bought Hotmail and email. He bought the thing and the protocol. If you bought Blue Sky, there would still be @protocol running underneath it. And that could be then used by any number of other people to build a client on top of it that would let you see all of this stuff. Like, you can go...
Well, they can ban you in Blue Sky, right?
Yes, because I got banned. How would they not be able to ban you? Like, they have to be able to ban you. That was a stupid question.
Because I see people talking about getting banned in Blue Sky all the time.
Well, really, the way it works is like your account doesn't get banned. You just get banned. Your account is banned from everybody, like the whole scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so how's that true? Elon didn't buy email? Yeah, I feel like I don't think that's really what happened, because if you think about it like this, buying email would be like buying social media. Buying Hotmail would be like buying Twitter. And by the way, Microsoft, I think, bought Skype. So we even have an example of that happening. So, like, if you can get banned by a central authority...
You know what I think? I think that Hank Green is pretending to be smart on the internet because he knows some things about science. So now he thinks he knows a little bit about everything. And everybody thinks that because he knows things about science, he knows a little bit about everything because he's a smart guy. And I think that he really fakes a lot of the things that he knows when it comes to anything that's not like basic science stuff, and lies about it. And everybody buys it because they think he's smart. He does it all the time.
Authority, it's not decentralized.
So does John Green. Both of them do it.
Right now, and look at the Blue Sky fire hose. This is available for everyone to do whatever.
Man, I'm probably going to get a lot of dislikes on this video because I'm talking shit about everybody's favorite YouTube scientist.
They want with, and you could take this and you could build a platform on top of it that just put all of this stuff into a thing that you could create a follow graph, you could port follow graphs from one place to another, you could move accounts from one place to another. This is happening all the time behind the scenes, and it's all
This is
public,
the Matrix. I've
which
seen this
I don't
movie.
think people get, and has all kinds of implications, but that's not what this video is about. So hopefully that did not overwhelm you too much, but that's what Blue Sky looks like behind the scenes. But what I actually want to talk about
He's simplifying it, but basically Twitter has proprietary protocol that can't be used by third parties. Is this the same type of issue that Reddit ran into with its API access and then changing the API access?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Half of people are saying yes, half are saying no.
No, it's yes. Kind of.
So I tweeted
Mostly.
about this. The goal of Blue Sky is to decentralize the social internet so that every individual controls their experience of it rather than having it be controlled by 5 random billionaires. Everyone thinks they signed up for a demuskified Twitter. We actually signed up for an exciting and bizarre experiment.
Well, yeah, of course, because if they can ban you, then you're just trading one owner for another, aren't you?
But this one's not a billionaire, just a millionaire.
I feel like you are at that point. If you're saying, okay, we're going to go over to this other platform, and now there are different rules that we have to follow on this other platform, what difference functionally is that from Twitter? That's not the point. Well, then what would it be? I mean, I don't even understand.
And I kind of tweeted this because I wanted to understand the extent to which people understood this, but also to get some feedback on my perspective here to try to challenge that a little bit. And I got someone...
They're critters in my attic, damn it.
Challenging my perspective. It's Flower Garden, who says this is a concerning misrepresentation of Blue Sky's intentions. Decentralizing the internet doesn't necessarily mean individuals control their experience, but rather that companies like Twitter don't have a stranglehold on the platform. This oversimplification undermines the complexity of the issue. Now, I thought this is kind of a weird way to tweet that, but that's interesting enough for me that I'd like to hear more from this.
That's because you're looking at this from a centralist perspective, a regular person perspective. You have to put your mind into the shoes of a leftist when you're looking at this, or you're not going to get it, because these people are crazy and they think that X is terrible and that they can't say anything because they get piled on Twitter. That's these people, like, they don't get it. They don't get that Twitter is based on what you view and the people that you interact with. If you view garbage and you interact with garbage people, then that's all you're going to get is garbage.
This person. So
they want it fed to them. They want their information fed to them. They don't want to go seek it out.
Can you tell me more about what you think I misrepresented?
The protocol is basically a standard to design other social media on that will be compatible to communicate with other social media using it.
That just sounds to me like a bunch of social media platforms are going to have all the same rules. And I don't like social media with rules. That's why I'm on X in the first place.
But, like, how would that function as a value to me as an individual user? Like, is that a functional difference that matters to me as a user? Because I can't really...
I think it does matter, and it's bad.
...really see that mattering. It doesn't, yeah. So why would that have anything to do with it?
We are going to decentralize social media by making all social media the same. Like, it's so ridiculous.
And they didn't reply for a while, and I didn't. That makes sense. And then I came back thinking, oh, maybe that person replied, and they didn't. And I was like, well, okay, let's check out their account. Let's go to see who they are. They have 23 followers, and they're following 12 people, and they're a passionate dog trainer and rescue advocate, and they say, hi, Dog Twitter, excited to join this amazing community of dog lovers, forever learning from the unconditional love of dogs. Normal, pretty normal, a little weird, pretty normal replies from this person. Thread, we're on Team Joe, do whatever the fuck you want. I disagree.
I see. So this is ChatGPT, and they're trying to get around the automatic filters. So a lot of social media websites have this system that automatically detects bots. And the way that you get around the automatic bot detection is by interacting with and having other people interact with your account who are verified humans. So all of this is created in order to get around bots.
with the implication that Joe Biden is a wild card who can disregard the law. As president, he has a responsibility to uphold the Constitution. Star Wars did give us a slur for robots, clankers, but I don't use it because you don't want to have to look a robot in the eye in 50 years and be like, you don't understand, it was a different time.
I'm so glad I never made an account on this website. This is the most cringe fucking shit ever. Oh my God.
Tweet.
Oh my
I disagree
God.
with this perspective. A slur is a derogatory term regardless of the context in which it originated. My tweet, that's a concerning misrepresentation. This tweet, not
and
for
so
nothing.
it's programmed in order to it's programmed to disagree because disagreement is more likely to prompt interaction. That's like 95% what I think is happening.
But the blowback season on the Korean War was great. I strongly disagree. Best supporting actor, Kieran Culkin. I strongly disagree.
Yeah.
While this intention is laudable, simplistic solutions. That's a ridiculous interpretation.
It's a bot.
I'm skeptical about this sudden change.
Yep.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. That's not entirely accurate.
It's like the internet rule. If you want to have a solution to a problem, don't post the question, post the wrong answer.
This is a bot
Then other people will come and correct you.
And that's how you get engagement, and that's how you get ad money on Twitter. That's literally what ad money is, how it's made on Twitter right now, which is a problem, and it's being addressed and is slowly being fixed. And that these things happen with new social media websites. So you can say, "Oh, it's not new. It's been around forever. It's just Twitter." It is not Twitter anymore. They have completely changed everything. It is new. It is effectively new. They just bought a fan base to add to their new app.
ChatGPT or some large language model with
all right, let me pull that guy up.
Disagree with stuff.
Yeah.
And I fucking walked right into it. I was like, this is a weird thing. Like, I actually think you're wrong.
Well, he got God. That's what happened. You got God. You thought it was a guy? It wasn't a guy. It's a robot. That's what happens.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we...
I interact with everybody on X and anywhere else like they are bots. I already assume that everyone's a bot, so I just don't take it serious.
Gonna do, and they're getting lots of engagement. That's not the wage increase is likely led to,
of course, they get
significant
engagement.
Job losses and price hikes as the industry struggled to absorb the added costs. Reply.
And everybody's arguing. Nice argument. Why? Because you say so. Like, yeah, nobody even understands at all. Nobody understands at all that it's a bot. And this is the issue: is that bots now are getting better. Everybody thinks that bots aren't going to get better. Like, oh, I'm good at detecting bots. Really, you're good at detecting bots.
I am good at detecting bots. You know how I'm good at detecting bots? I only interact with people that I know are 100% for true, real people.
How many bots have you detected that you didn't know that you did? How many bots have you interacted with that you didn't know? Well, that's an unknowable number.
Well, if you assume everybody that you interact with, that's not the usual people that you interact with that you know is not a bot, I just assume they're bots.
The nature of the fact that you didn't know that they were bots.
So they're all bots.
You see? Like, it's...
Engagement. What is the point, dog lover?
Somebody up in that chat said, am I a bot? Yes. To me, you are a bot because I don't know you.
What are you trying to do? Flowergarden.bluesky.social. And for how long am I going to be able to even tell the difference? Like, if it hadn't been that
Well, he couldn't tell the difference. You didn't tell the difference. You got God. That's the whole point. It worked on him, and this guy is very computer literate. He's an intelligent person. And so if he's getting God, think about what the Facebook grandmas are having. They've been God.
And if it was a little bit better, so the question is going to move from what
you want to talk about Facebook grandmas? What about the Facebook grandpas who are interacting with these lady bots who are I used to work at Dollar General. I was a manager. We'd have all the time people come in buying gift cards for scams, like they were getting scammed, and there was nothing that we could do about it most of the time. Because if we tried to tell these people that they're getting scammed or we try to turn them away, then they freak out and get mad because they actually think they're sending these gift cards to their girlfriend. And it happens so often. And I live in a small town. And I'd get 2 or 3 different people every day coming in, buying a whole bunch of different gift cards. And when you ask them about it, because that was the thing, if they're buying too many different types of gift cards, you have to ask them what it's for. And a lot of times they will say, oh, I'm buying these for my girlfriend. My girlfriend asked me to get these for her.
We do about this, which is nothing. So like there will be people out there pretending to be people, and we will not be able to tell them apart from real people. Maybe there's something we can do
like
about
Hillary
that,
Clinton.
which would be like a sort of curated blue sky.
The only way you can solve that problem is by having real identity verification that is authenticated by maybe a third party or by the government that then allows you to make an account through that, like South Korea. That's the only solution. Yeah, that's it. So you either have one or the other. I cannot, maybe I'm not creative enough. I cannot think of a third option.
List
Bad idea, but true. Well, what's the fastest way to warm yourself up? Set yourself on fire. That's technically true, but it's not a good idea. So there are a lot of things that you can do that work, that serve a purpose, but you shouldn't do them.
True humans that is proved to be humans in some very true and clear way. But I don't know that that's the good solution to the problem, because there are reasons why people would want to be anonymous on the internet. And maybe you can disentangle those things, but I don't know. I think that the bigger thing is like, what's the incentive for doing this? And how do you turn off that incentive? And I can't figure out what the incentive for doing it is. And so
of course you, come on, bro. What do you mean you don't know what the incentive is?
Money!
How many psychological studies have we seen that have been conducted over the last 50 years that show that people have a herd bias? People buy botnets because if you have, like, let's say, a view bot on Twitch and a lot of people see your stream and they see your stream is popular, they'll think that your stream is good. That's the way it works with people. And I know it sounds like a stupid...
Is that true? Is that true? Should I be botting my streams? I'm not going to do that, but should I be doing that?
...thing, but I think that it's absolutely true. And it's always been true as well.
Because right now I'm looking over and I'm seeing 0, 0, 0 on my views. I don't give a fuck, because this is just to get me to actually make the videos. The real money comes from me uploading these after the stream. Hopefully it pops off later, but if it doesn't, I don't care, because this is just to get me to sit down and actually record these videos.
Look to it. Yeah, exactly, right? And so if botnets are massively popular because if people see something getting a lot of likes, or they see an opinion getting very popular, then they'll have that opinion.
So I don't know how to turn down the incentive. Give me in the comments.
You can't, because it's hardwired into... The only way you can turn this off is by real ID verification, I believe. And you can never get rid of the incentive for this to be on social media, because to the extent that you can communicate ideas, there is a financial goal in communicating certain ideas, and that financial goal will be met by people that are using unethical means to do so, unless they can't do that. That's just how it is. So you can't get rid of this because it's hardwired into people's brains.
Ideas for what you think the point of this is. Is it to build an account that has like a history and some followers so that it can then be used to spam? And if the price of doing that is so low that all you need to do like is nothing. I mean, I guess you just like turn this program on, and you have to have like an instance of a large language model running, but maybe that's fairly inexpensive now. And so now you could just like maybe this costs like 12 cents a year to run.
Yeah.
And then if you can at one point flip it to become a spam account or an influence account, or is it just like so Discord? Is it just being...
Of course not. No, people don't actively do that regularly on a large scale. There are always going to be bad actors and jokers in the world, but it's always going to be a minority. The reason why it happens is because, so basically a lot of social media websites, I said this at the beginning, but I'll kind of like summarize it because he just brought it up. Social media websites have what is effectively bot culling, which means that brand new accounts are sometimes limited in their features and they are limited in their interaction possibilities. And there are ways that you can get around these limitations, such as linking a phone number, linking an email account, or doing something like that. But what happens is that these accounts need to, there are like internal checks and balances, or actually just checks. There are internal criteria checks that each social media network is programmed with in order to like subversively determine whether an individual is a bot or a real person. And they use that in order to cut down on botting. YouTube has it, Facebook has it, Twitter has it, Blue Sky probably has it, but it's not very good. And so all of these platforms have it. And the issue is that because you can do this at scale instantaneously, effectively, the A/B testing for figuring out what triggers the so like basically this is the reason. Okay, well, let's take another step back. So Blizzard bans bots in massive waves and not regularly. The reason why they don't ban them regularly is because they don't want bot makers and hackers to do what is effectively A/B testing, which means like basically you try doing this, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to try doing that. That does work. Okay, now I'm going to try doing that and then this. Okay, that doesn't work. And then you just keep changing it to where you can reverse engineer the process by failing at every step possible in order to effectively figure out, how do you figure out where to go? You figure out where not to go. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why Blizzard doesn't mass ban bots. But the problem is that social media has to do that. And in the process of having to do that, and you can fail max, right? Well, you are fail maxing, but you're doing it at scale and you're doing it robotically. So there's no actual cost of labor. So basically what they do is they set up these programs, they figure out what the checks are, and then they calibrate their botting system to...
You know what that sounds like to me? That all sounds like we're going to have to put our IDs into these websites to be able to actually use them, which kind of doesn't bother me right now because I have to put in my ID to get paid from these websites. But if I was just a regular user, if I want to use an account that doesn't have anything to do with my monetization, then like I don't want to put my ID in. But if you don't require that, there's going to just be bots everywhere. But if you do put your ID, then that gives room for your ID to be tracked and you to be tracked even more, and your identity to be used and kept in data banks. I don't like that. I don't like when companies and governments keep tabs on my information, because then what was the point of getting rid of the bots if my identity is just going to be stolen? And then that will be the bot. The bot will steal our identities and pretend to be us. Or they'll just start creating new people, because it's getting deep into our government systems. And I think we will start seeing fake people pop up in the system. And I think that fake people are already being created by people in the system, i.e. the CIA. And if the CIA is able to do something, there are hackers that have way more capability than them, that are outside the government, that are just playing around in their basement. They're way more capable.
Do things that will go underneath those checks. Why do you think negative comments are why they're doing this? They're doing it with negative comments because negative comments have a higher probability of attracting an interaction or attracting a like. So what they're going to do, and this is the reason also, here's another component to it with YouTube. The other component to it with YouTube is the fact that if you look at a lot of the comments on YouTube that are made by fake accounts, every single one of them almost is copy pasting an existing top comment, because they're programmed to identify the top and most interacted with comments and then repost those comments because those comments are the highest likely to receive interaction. And so all of this is created so that people that use botnets can use them for different means. Why do I know so much about botting? Because it's about any scam or anything like that, I know a lot about it. Yeah. Anything like that. These are basically what alien people say, the soul-sucking aliens. Now it's bots. Yeah, exactly. But there it is.
Run by some organization that would like to create more discord in the English-speaking world, and is like, let's just sort of fill.
No, this is no Russia hoax or some shit like that. It has nothing to do with that. I'm sure, yes, of course, there are people who are Russian disinformation agents, but to think that they're like disagreeing with people on an individual level on Blue Sky, of course not.
All social media platforms up with bots that are designed to disagree and to increase disagreement. I could honestly see that. I don't see that with this because it's not mean enough. Like if it were meaner, or maybe it just like starts nice and becomes meaner over time. But this is so good at that it is really making me think if there's somebody out here on the internet that's making me mad, there is a high probability that that's not even a real person, and that it is indeed like, what's the incentive? The only incentive is like, take up.
Even if it is a real person making you mad, why do you even pretend that they're real? Like, they're fake. They're not real. You're not going to see this person in real life, most likely. Even if you do, fuck them.
My time, distract me, and make me have less faith in my society and fellow people. So like that,
I think that's a fair assumption to make, but I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think this is some sort of like, geopolitical power grab where like China is like paying Chinese people to disagree with Americans to make Americans mad. It's just not what's happening.
Is a strong push toward block if people are being disrespectful.
And also, why wouldn't they do it? It's not that they aren't doing it. It's that the scale of doing it is probably 95% or 99% botnets and 1 to 5% propaganda. I'm not saying it's not happening at all, but I'm saying that it's not the prime causal factor, and it's not even close to being the prime causal factor. It's very, very low probability.
You also never know. It could be a bot that just didn't get finished. It could have been a test that from China or Iran or some other country throwing bots out there to test them, and then when they fail, they're just like, well, I mean, why would we pull it out? It's creating havoc on these platforms, even though it's broken and doesn't work how we meant it to. Or who knows? It could be the AI models that they're turning on to the internet to read everything, and they're injecting themselves. The AI may be coming alive. It's turning into Skynet. You never know, man, unless you're the one doing it.
Not if people are disagreeing, but if they're being like, if they're like enraging me. And then that is also like an incentive toward creating whitelists.
We have no clue. I do. I've been on social media ever since social media was pretty much invented. I've seen this happen the entire time.
True.
I probably understand this better than almost anyone.
I understand it almost better than anyone. And I think Asmongold knows more than I do. But I also don't know anybody who actually knows anything about this stuff, because I live in the middle of nowhere in the country. So like all of the people that I know, they have no idea how to use any kind of technology except for like they know how to log into Facebook on their phone.
That's why I understand how the botnets work and how they can build their systems. Of course. I guarantee you this is what's happening.
Or really robust block lists of people like this. But honestly, it feels more like a whitelist than a block list problem, because if it costs nothing to have this this kind of activity. I just don't think it costs much. I think it's on the order of dollars, like single dollars per year to run an account like this. So I don't know why they wouldn't do it. And that's something that like a Blue Sky like protocol would allow. It would allow some people to sign up for only the internet that is definitely real humans, if that's what you would prefer. And I think that's maybe what a lot of people would prefer.
Blue Sky doesn't allow that to happen. It doesn't prevent that from happening either. Anybody can do that without Blue Sky. All you have to do is join a website that has real ID verification. Like a very crude version of this is that every single girl that streams on cam sites has to post a picture of herself next to her driver's license for them to confirm that she's 18 years old. So yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for actually over 10 years.
Right, this is the video. I'm going to go play Connections, everybody. Let's do that. I haven't played Connections yet this morning, but I need to tell you about something else real quick. And yes, I have changed shirts because I just went to the gym and I'm cutting this in later. This video is brought to you by Complexly.store, which is a place where you could go to buy a bunch of cool stuff and also support the work that we do at Complexly. Complexly is a company that makes educational online video, and we give it away for free. None of our videos are put behind a paywall, and we believe that is the right way to do things, but we do need to make money somehow. It is not a particularly easy business to run. We have razor thin profit margins every year, and you can check out Complexly.store where you can get a ton of very cool stuff. Everything from simple stuff like the Crash Course University t-shirt, established 2012. Yes, Complexly helps to make Crash Course, but also SciShow and Bizarre Beasts and PBS Eons and a bunch of other stuff. You could buy an Anubis scented candle.
I do like SciShow. By the way, I said earlier I don't like Hank Green. I do like Hank Green. I just don't like it when he talks about politics or like social media or anything that's not something that would be relevant to SciShow.
It's presents for the nerds.
How do you know what Anubis
life,
smells
right?
like?
You can also buy our 2025 calendar, because you're going to need a calendar, and you might as well have a beautiful one that supports good, high quality,
death? Yeah, I was about to say.
educational content.
It looks like wokeism. It looks like wokeism.
That supports good, high quality.
It really does. Does it not?
Death? Yeah, I was about to say.
Educational content on the internet. People love these Crash Course composition books. You can get a 3-pack for $10, which seems like too cheap, honestly. I feel like we should make that more expensive. And in fact, I'm going to email.
Why does wokeism always look like elementary school drawings and paintings? It like some stuff that you would see in the hallways of an elementary school. Why? I mean, I understand this is a Crash Course thing, and it's supposed to be educational and for like kids and stuff. But like all the woke stuff looks like that too now. Everything just looks like that. And it's gross. I always thought that stuff was lame growing up, and I think it's even lamer now.
Email them to make it more expensive, but if you see this before
It's a
that
good idea.
happens, you're gonna get that for cheap. Jesus, that is cheap. Why are we selling them that cheap? So check it out at Complexly.store. There's
cool
a link
idea.
in the description. Cookie, Emmy, Grammy, Katie, Junior, Oscar. Well, we got Oscar and Emmy. Tony, that's another one. Pop, Cece, Mummy, Count, Meadow, Snuffy.
What?
Ooh, these are a lot of names.
Snuffy, that's a VTuber.
Count, Carmela, Cece's Pizza, Cookie, Monster. Monsters? No. Eddie? Is Eddie a monster? Snuffy. I don't know what that is.
She's a
Emmy,
raccoon.
Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Okay, that's what that is. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's
obviously.
just that. Emmy,
What is
Grammy,
this?
Oscar, and Tony.
I'm so confused.
And like that'd be a weird one to have be a red herring.
This is just him
but-
talk. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm so confused. Okay, so he just
This is an
randomly
ad.
started playing a fucking game?
It's an ad.
Okay, well, anyway.
No, watch
that's
the
pretty much
rest.
about the whole thing.
Watch
with
the
Blue Sky
rest.
Stuff. All right, that's an ad for his site. That's smart. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah, take something that's a popular topic and then use the other half of the video to talk about your product. There you go. He moved on to the gaming portion of the stream. Yeah, I guess so. I'll link you guys the video here. And anyway, going back to this this stuff with Blue Sky, I do think that this is something that's going to become increasingly more common, and it will happen. Yeah, good sales pitch. Yeah, there you go. And Bro's farming the views with his ad. Yeah, it's smart. It's the anti-Twitter. Well, this is happening on Twitter. It's happening on Reddit. It's happening on YouTube. Like, so here's an example of it happening on Reddit. When it happened on Reddit, it was basically a like the New World thing. Do you remember the New World thing where somebody said like New World feels good different on the PTR? And then everybody thought Amazon was paying bots to do this, but it was actually just bots that were scraping comments and then repeating them. So that's really what it comes down to. 5 likes and 9 comments, fucking bums on Blue Sky. I don't think Blue Sky is going to go anywhere, and I don't think it's going to be popular ever. I think that you're obviously going to have some people. This is the issue with Blue Sky, right? Is that Blue Sky is marketed as an alternative to Twitter. It's not marketed as its own independent product that has its own value. It's all of its value is derived from not being something else.
True. And what's going to happen when X changes a little bit? And Blue Sky is still trying to be the anti-Twitter, but then it's not like Twitter. So it can't be the anti-Twitter. And then that's how it dies, is because it's marketing as the anti-Twitter, and then if it's not like Twitter, then it's not the anti-Twitter anymore. And then what do you got to market on? That it is like the old Twitter that's terrible? I remember old Twitter. I was on old Twitter. It was terrible. I was suspended multiple times. I got suspended for like a month, and I just quit using it. I just went to Discord. I stopped using like regular social media outright for a little while.
And not being something else is a very bad value proposition. And you can already see, even in the United States, like, so if you look at worldwide, like Twitter versus Blue Sky is like 95-5. But even on in the United States, where it's like, it was like, you know, 20, and this is like interest, right? Interest on Google searches. It was like 20-80 or like 80-20 with like Twitter at 80%, Blue Sky at 20. It's gone down to below 10 now. Nobody gives a shit about Blue Sky. Nobody ever gave a shit about Blue Sky. People.
What about Threads? Everybody remember Threads? It was the anti-Twitter back when X first became a thing. And I mean, Threads is still around, but nobody uses it.
People just didn't like Twitter. It's the same as Mastodon or any of these other platforms. They're just going to go over there for a while, and then they're going to leave. So that's it. Truth Social. Yeah, it's basically the liberal version of Truth Social. Is this like a stream of consciousness, effectively, with all of the things that are occurring on Blue Sky at a time? Yes. I think this proves my point. Look at how many of these things are English. Almost everything here is English. There you go. Most? Yeah, exactly, right? That's because it's primarily an English platform. Because why would, like, if you're not part of the American culture that's been trained to hate Elon Musk, why would you, for any reason, go to Blue Sky? Zero reason.
Yeah, well, it's already getting really weird. And I think it's just going to keep getting weirder and weirder and weirder until either we're going to have to all be identified as real people, or we're just not going to have the internet and social media because it's going to be taken over by fucking Skynet.